You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. It's great to be with you, and it's great for you to be with us here on 702 on the 17th day of December. All strength to all of you if you're still hard at work, like us this week and beyond. And lucky you if you're already on leave and taking a break and taking things easy. So wherever you're listening from, I hope you're well this morning. We start the show with the 702 open line on 011-883-0702. That's the number to dial to share your views on the 702 open line this morning. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. How shocking and scary is the murder of DJ Warras, eh? He was killed yesterday in the Johannesburg CBD. Reports suggest that he was assisting with the enforcement of a court order. In fact, it's a court-ordered eviction against illegal tenants in a hijacked building. So condolences, first of all, to his family and his friends. I mean, this is someone who never shied away from speaking his mind, no matter how, quote-unquote, controversial those views may be. And I respected him for that. He often took me on to challenge my views that I raise on the radio. I mean, if he disagreed with something, he will send me a long voice note stating his point and challenging my view. But what a lovely chap. May his soul rest in peace. I couldn't help but think, how safe do we think we are from criminal networks? Like, why is it so easy to kill people execution style in this country? The police are now looking into the work that he did with his security company rescuing these hijacked buildings in the inner city. And chances are there are people who didn't want to see what he was doing through his company, which is why I'm asking about these criminal networks. It just feels like we are continuously victims of these criminal networks. So how do we then ever do the right thing, if doing the right thing can be at odds with the people who are doing the wrong thing, to a point that they want to take you out, they want to kill you? How do we save the inner city, to use this example? If there are criminal networks out there that depend on the city's dilapidation and collapse, how do we save it? Because anyone who tries to mess up with what benefits these criminal networks clearly is in danger. This is our reality, and it's sad. Let me know what your reflections are following the murder of DJ Warras. Give us a call or send a WhatsApp voice note. What do you think also of what happened at the Nkambinde inquiry on Monday, when the head of the NPA, Advocate Shamila Batohi, decided to leave the inquiry and not come back without even informing the chairperson or putting it on record the application to hold her cross-examination? Listen to this interaction between her and the commissioners on Monday.
Decision to decide not to continue.
But Advocate Batohi, you cannot say it's voluntary, because the whole trigger for this inquiry is your referral to the president in terms of a certain section of a statute that governs you. So we are here because of an act of parliament.
Understood.
We are not just here as a kangaroo court where one can say, no, I'm not going to participate, I've heard it, and. But we are here because you took time to write a letter to the president and referred the conduct or whatever of Advocate Chauke. And the president then constituted this inquiry. And you came here to testify, to give your side of why we are here. So if you feel I don't want to be here, I'm walking out, doesn't that border on being disrespectful to this panel?
I didn't intend to be disrespectful, and I'm not walking out. All I'm saying is that I'm not prepared to continue testimony at this point, pending getting legal advice.
Advocate Batohi, when we adjourned for lunch, you did not request to be excused. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you were expected to come back after lunch like any other party that is here and participating in this inquiry.
That's correct.
And you then decided to inform the representatives of NPA that are present here that you are not coming back.
That's correct.
And true to what you had requested.
Okay, yeah, I think we get the gist, Abel. But oh my goodness. And then things escalated. Listen to this.
Chairperson, I will not be shouted at here. I'm trying really to help.
You have been totally disrespectful to everybody.
Well, I apologize then,
and
Chairperson.
we have been so patient with you, disrespecting almost everybody. And this has gone into the record. We've been so patient with you.
It's not the sense I get, but it's fine.
Well, the record will speak for itself.
Indeed.
It has spoken for itself. And today, you decided to be totally disrespectful to this hearing.
That was not my intention.
Not only to us, but to everybody here.
That was not my intention, Chairperson.
Well, everything has always been that not being your intention. But the fact speaks for itself. You've been disrespectful.
Yeah. What is going on with Advocate Batohi, guys? I mean, her behavior, her posture at this inquiry has left a lot to be desired. And I'm not even talking about the merits of the case, right? Because that's an entirely different matter. Because it doesn't appear like there's actually a strong case here against Advocate Chauke. Well, at least from the cross-examination, she has made so many concessions. In fact, our colleague Khomotso Modise said the other day that it almost appears like this is an inquiry into Advocate Batohi's fitness to hold office and not Chauke's. It's extraordinary what's been going on at the Nkabinde inquiry. What do you think is at play here? Because it almost appears, at least to me, like there are personal issues here. Maybe there are personal issues at play. I know someone or some people feel like the chairperson of the inquiry has overstepped and also become emotional and disrespectful towards Batohi. But other people feel like the chair was pushed to that point by Batohi herself. I haven't really watched the chair long enough to make a conclusive statement on her behavior. I mean, I started paying attention to the inquiry when tensions were already high. But what do you think? You can call me or send me a WhatsApp voice note to share your thoughts, please.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Good morning, Clement and 702. This is Yolanda from Centurion. You asked how are people supposed to fight against these criminals if doing the right thing ends you up dead. Well, South Africa fought against apartheid. Apartheid was literally criminal. And They managed to win over apartheid together by saying enough is enough. If we're going to continue being on our cell phones, complaining, tweeting, reacting, and then sitting down, reacting, and then sitting down, all going uproar, and then all of a sudden after 3 days everything calms down and back to normal, things will never change. South Africa will continue deteriorating. We need to be decisive, and we need to be determined to stop these criminal syndicates, because they are free, because South Africa has become desensitized to these criminal activities.
Hey, man, Clem, Aubrey and Fosnoras. Clement, the issue of Warras, it's very sad. Ne? What puzzles me the most, Clement, it's our law enforcers. Remember, we are under Ramaphosa. Ne? We once saw how a lockdown works. After the effect, or after the fact, the shooting, maybe an hour later, Clement, there was supposed to be a lockdown of the whole of Joburg. We have Amapanyazas who can patrol. We have even police who can call even the soldiers to reinforce. But we have never seen that happening. So I don't know what really to say. Is it, I don't know, Clement. I'm just shocked. I'm very much shocked, but I'm very disappointed. As I'm saying, Joburg was supposed to be at least the last of the whole of last night. Joburg was supposed to be under lockdown. Not easy to enter, not easy to go out. But what can we say? We are in South Africa. Thank you, Clement.
Morning, Clement. Hope you're well. Morning to the people there in the studio as well. I just want to start by saying rest in peace, Warras. Rest in peace, Warrick. I knew him vaguely. Was always a great guy. To answer your question, Clement, as to how people get killed so easily, execution style in South Africa, you need to ask yourself what's going to happen to that guy that shot him, or those guys that shot him. Let's ask ourselves realistically, what's going to happen to these guys? They're probably going to get arrested. They'll get out on like 1,000, 2,000 rand bail while the trial bumbles on for like a year or two. And then when they finally get convicted, they'll get life with parole, which means they're out in like 12 to 15 years. So, like, if we look at it from a consequence management standpoint, catching a body in South Africa is like kind of easy, and there's no real consequences behind it. So that's why people can just do it.
Morning, Clement. I am so shocked and saddened by the death of DJ Warras. Like, I normally do my hair by the salon closer to where this whole thing happened. And I actually went to go and do my hair on the 15th because I thought it was going to be busy on the 16th. But it's so strange because most of the time when I used to see him, he would walk with these big puff guys. I'm just wondering where was his security people? And also, they shot him in a very busy street. Kuri, these people, abatabiniks. It is so busy in town. There's cameras everywhere. There's JMPD everywhere. This is so sad. And I'm so shocked. RIP to him. We will miss his views on Twitter. And justice to DJ Warras.
Oh, man. But I think that's how brazen criminals are. But in any country, if you are losing the fight, if criminals are really the ones that are calling the shots in some instances, that's exactly how you're going to have criminals behave. Because criminals are not scared of taking the police on. They're not. And either that's because they see the weaknesses in our policing systems, or that's because they know that there's protection for them. They know that they can just come and kill someone because, yes, people may be arrested here and there, but the kingpin, the person who ordered the hit, is never going to be found. Or if the person is found, there's not going to be a proper investigation against them. The docket is going to disappear, or the case is going to fall off the cracks. That's the country we live in. That is scary. We cannot continuously fall victim to the criminal networks. That is exactly what we are experiencing. So how safe do you think we are from these criminal networks? Why is it so easy? Why do you think it's so easy for someone in the inner CBD? You go and execute someone like that? That must be because you know that the police are not going to do their job, or you know that they're too weak to get you. Or you know that they're probably the person who called the hit is fine, because if the person gets caught, they're not going to be arrested because they're going to be protected by some corrupt cops. I'm just worried that we're getting to a point where people who need to do the right thing will not do that anymore. Whether it's a good cause, in this case, let's say you're cleaning out these buildings, hijacked buildings, whether it's your work as an auditor, as an investigator, maybe as an investigative journalist, maybe as a broadcaster who shares their views. People are going to be scared to say what they want to say, or to do the right thing, or that's just their jobs, because they live in a country where it's just going to be messy when you do. That is not cool. We cannot allow the criminal networks to run amok like that. But then again, what do you do when the very same SAPS is in a mess itself? The level of corruption and infiltration that's been exposed so far, the level of infighting in the SAPS that's been exposed so far, who do you think is on our corner as South Africans? They're busy fighting each other there. On the WhatsApp line, Shafiq says, "Hi Clement, one can understand Shamila Batohi's frustration at the inquiry. She had been answering questions for over 3 weeks. It almost comes across as if there is an intention to embarrass her. She's had enough, and that's understandable." Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, that's the nature of cross-examination, hey? If you think cross-examination is you being on a luncheon with friends, you're mistaken. Cross-examination is supposed to break you. It's supposed to question every single thing that you put up on the table. The very essence of your claims, they come under the microscope and test during cross-examination. So I get it. Cross-examination is supposed to be brutal. But we like it when it's brutal against people we don't like. Like if I asked you about Julius Mkhwanazi or Senzo Mkhunu being cross-examined at the Madlanga, you were probably praising that. Now, Advocate Ngugaitobi cross-examines someone you may like more, then that is a bit problematic. That's what cross-examination is supposed to be. If you've listened to the responses that Advocate Batohi has given to the inquiry, shocking. She doesn't remember certain things. She doesn't know the terms of reference for the inquiry. She hasn't read certain things that are in her emails. She had to be given, she was asked, do you need time to go read the terms of reference? I mean, are you kidding me? The very reason that this inquiry exists is because you made motivation to the president, and the president decided to act on that. You've got to be able to defend it at the very least. And I don't think she's done that successfully. And I don't have an issue with Advocate Batohi or anything. But I'm really disappointed in her behavior at the inquiry. I really am. And that's why I'm saying I haven't even touched on the issue of the merits of the case. Just look at her posture. Look at how she was so nonchalant about things that are crucial. I mean, there was a time when her and the chairperson were going forth and forth because she tried to claim that the chairperson of the inquiry somehow agreed that she would not be cross-examined. And the chairperson says, stop misrepresenting what I said to you. Stop misrepresenting me. See, things like that, and you think, this is not okay. But then again, I want to open my mind up to what other people are also trying to make me see. There are other people who are saying that it looks like there's a personal vendetta here because the way the chair has been losing patience with her is also unacceptable. And I'm saying, I hear you. I haven't watched the chair from the beginning to be able to make that conclusive statement. I only started really following the proceedings because I've been stuck with the parliamentary inquiry and the Madlanga Commission. I only started following the inquiry when the tensions were already high. But some of you have watched from the beginning. Maybe you've seen that the chair has been impatient with her from the onset. I don't know. And if that's the case, the chair must also be called out because her very job is to try and calm situations, isn't it? You've got to be the bigger person. Isn't that what Madlanga would do? Isn't that what Justice Zondo did with state capture? Isn't that what can mention other chairs of inquiries? But I'm saying that is a perception of other people, but I respect it. I haven't observed that yet because I haven't seen the chair from the beginning. But if that's the case, I think she must also be called out. But what we have seen there, that's not cool. Avan, you're calling us from Roodepoort. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Hi, my favorite person. How are you?
Hello, I'm okay,
thank you,
favorite person.
Working during the holidays, all of us. I've got points to make on two of your questions. Your first question about the head of the NPA boss. Shame. I feel sorry for her because from day one, she was out of her depth. And that speaks to the processes that elected her. Those people that elected her should be held accountable here. She's been out of her depth from day one. And I'm just a person that sits and listens to you the whole day. And from all the things that you've been speaking from whenever she was appointed, there's never been a one moment where we clapped hands for her. The other thing I want to point to is that the very existence of the Madlanga Commission, it points to South Africa having no rule of law. It's a fertile ground for criminals. South Africa, number one, needs to return to the rule of law and govern by the rule of law. That is why the criminal syndicates are just thriving. I mean, you have that, I think one of the guys that, I think is Cat, coming to the commission dressed in $1 million things. I mean, really, his suits are R1 million. And my personal bugbear is the taxi industry, Clement. Every day a taxi box is executed in broad daylight, like DJ Wallace on the weekend. Shot in broad daylight. How can you shoot somebody in Carlton Center?
That's how brazen they are. Remember, we used to talk about they don't even wear balaclavas anymore. Like when they're hijacking, remember during the height of cash in transit heists, they get on the freeway. When people are driving their cars and they can see who these people are, they get on the freeway. That's when they execute their plan. No balaclavas whatsoever. That's where we are, guys. That's where we are. They're not even scared that we're going to take videos of them. We'll know who they are. That's a very scary situation to find ourselves in. Mohau, you're in Sasolburg. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Clement. Sure. I think the speaker has taken some of my words because I wanted to refer to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. We cannot be surprised because according to the information gathered, we heard from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, these criminals are protected by guys like Umchunu, who's this other one, the black one, the other former minister, Dekipel. I mean, they are covered by those people. So why should they worry? The whole parliament is behind them, is protecting them against defenseless people who, some of them, have nothing to do because they were in the forefront of the struggle. So there's no way we can be surprised. We can only pray that one day, it must be one day. Really, I can stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, Mohau in Sasolburg, thank you for your thoughts. It's 9:31.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. We've been discussing the murder of DJ Warras and, this criminal network, it looks like we are continuously just falling victim to it. And I don't know, because these criminal networks exist in every sector, really. In the security sector, whether you talk about in the tender system, specific tenders, or you talk about a criminal network, even at a metro level, at a local government level, construction mafias that we often talk about, it's really getting out of control. We're also talking about Advocate Shamila Batohi's cross-examination at the Nkabinde inquiry. What happened this week was so unfortunate. Her deciding to just leave and say, I'm not going to be part of the inquiry anymore, without putting up an application to halt a cross-examination or having the decency to come and put it on record before the commissioners, before the chair. I mean, that's just unheard of. In fact, she just told the legal team, okay, I'm not coming back there. I need legal counsel. Something that she should have come to they called her to come back. Of course, she ended up coming back. But my goodness, there are two issues here. One, her posture, just her behavior towards the commission has just been weird. But two, the merits of the case too. What case does she actually have against Advocate Chauke? Because it feels like this has been an inquiry into her fitness to hold office. As I said earlier, this is what Khomotso Modise had said a few days ago. It appears like that, because what have we been watching over the last couple of weeks? My goodness. And I get it, she may be tired, but from the onset, there are certain things that she conceded to. A number of things she conceded to. Let's go to some WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
Mr. Clement, good morning. I fail to understand the behavior of Shamila Batohi, because surely she knows way better on how to provoke somebody, more especially when in court, so that the person can tell the truth, or so that the person can say it all. But then now, when she's been provoked, she's crying out loud. Why is she not using the tactics? Why is she not using the right tactics of handling yourself or handling herself in court? Because what she's doing, it's a no. Last one here.
Clement, on Shamila Batohi's point, I think Advocate Ngcukaitobi is really turning the heat on Shamila Batohi, and she feels that. And she feels that she's losing a grip of the whole thing, and Ngcukaitobi is really exposing her, and she feels very defeated, and now she's trying to fight back and to defend her image, but of course coming out as very arrogant and very ignorant at the same time. And again, I think she also very disrespectful of the chair. Agamboni at all. I think it's those two issues when it comes to Shamila Batohi. Moses.
Hi, Clement. I don't know if the two things that I'll be comparing are the same. Is what Shamila Batohi doing not the same as what Jacob Zuma did to us? Then if they are the same, then I think she should face the same consequences that Zuma faced. She's a disrespectful woman. She doesn't respect us. She doesn't respect our country. She doesn't even respect her own job. I don't know what to say, Clement, about this woman. Peter from First Lawrence.
Hi, Clement, it's Darryl from Linden. Just about Shamila Batohi at the inquiry. I think just some things early on that were really disappointing was, one, she didn't read the terms of reference for the inquiry. She's a lawyer. Even as a layperson, I know that if I'm going to be cross-examined, I'm going to prepare myself. She didn't. She didn't go through the case properly about Johan Boysens. And those are like big gaps for a lawyer to be doing. She should know those things. And maybe that explains why we're not getting things right in the NPA. Because if she can't get it right just to do the basics for when she attends an inquiry, then how can we expect her to pull the whole NPA right? And maybe that's why it hasn't come right yet.
Right? Yeah. Someone asked about Jacob Zuma versus Shamila Batohi. The difference you could argue here is that Jacob Zuma said, I am not coming back and I'm not going to participate. Shamila Batohi seems to suggest that I just want to seek some legal advice. I may come back at some point. So you don't want to make a conclusive statement that, oh, Shamila Batohi has gone and is not coming back, when she herself says, I just want to get some legal advice first. And yes, maybe the legal advice will be, stop, don't continue with the cross-examination. She must still make the case for that. She can't just decide with a legal team. She must still write to the commission and make the case for that. And the commission must either accept that or not. And if the commission doesn't accept that, then she still continues to stick to her guns and say, I'm still not coming back. Then that's when we can make that comparison. At this stage, I think she's asking, I just want to speak to my legal team. I think she realizes that she's getting herself more and more in trouble. And not only that, but the recommendations of this commission, when they come out, that may be used as a basis to really correct some wrongs that may have been done in the past. So there are major consequences possibly and she realizes that as long as I've continued with this cross-examination, there's a hole here that I'm getting deeper and deeper into. Eddie, you're calling from Boksburg. What do you want to say about this issue of crime?
The issue of crime, Mr. Clement, I can see, most of the South Africans were looking away. We don't face the real problem here. The real problem is our constitution and the cabinet, and those people who are in government. Why they are not changing these laws, Mr. Clement? You see, in Australia, that shooting that happened in Australia, they are busy changing the laws. But here, like now, Mr. Clement, when you knock off, then you go home, you find people occupy your house there. You can't chase them away. The law says you must get them a place before you can remove them from your house. What laws is this? Why can't they make this law difficult? Like now, people, they can just kill you there. Now, when they sentence them to life imprisonment, after 7 years, he's out or she's out. That's why, really we can talk as long as those people in government, they don't do something, they don't change these laws. Really, we're just fighting a losing battle. We can blame the police. There is nothing they can do, really.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie, as we stand now, the Minister of Justice said it on the radio last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? She said, as we speak now, there's no legal protection for whistleblowers. As you and I speak now, Eddie. Because they're not finalizing the laws in Parliament. Like, are you kidding me? After so many people have been killed who have tried to blow the whistle, you have not called, this is a state of emergency, or let's fasten the process, do something to show that you truly care, to show that this is truly a priority. As we speak now, with all the whistleblowers who've been killed, there's no legal protection against them currently.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. We're fighting a losing battle. Even if we can talk until we turn blue. Those people in government, why is it so difficult just to say, no, they must just change this law? Why this constitution, they said, is the best in the world? Like now, Canada and China and other countries, they are telling their people, they said, no, you must visit South Africa because you can be killed at any time. And these guys are so happy. These South Africans, those people who are in government, they are happy to hear about that thing. That thing is painting our country bad, really. Yeah, there are consequences, Eddie. It's not even just tourism. I mean, if I was about to go to London and I'm hearing people are being killed left, right, center in London, execution style, I will rethink. I will reconsider. If I'm an investor and I want to go put my money in London and I see that the rule of law is completely out, there's no rule of law, crime is at its highest, I am going to consider and be cautious in how I put in my money in London. And I'm using that example. Similarly so with this country. Crime is not just crime that affects us. Crime affects our bottom line. For crime affects our bottom line. There's a cost to it. There really is a cost to it. And that's something we've got to think about. And maybe we need, the Constitution, as you say, Eddie, the Constitution is not self-executing.
There are people that you and I elect into power who must give life to this document. And if this document doesn't serve us, there are certain aspects of it, and by the way, that happens all over the world. Well, in most parts of the world, you have a chance to even change the constitution if you feel there's a particular clause that is regressive or doesn't add value or doesn't help in the advancement of our lives, our interests as a people, as a nation. You can change that. So we need to ask some serious questions about the people we have appointed who are in those positions, who should be doing more. John, you're calling us from Winchester Hills. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Morning, Herman. Look,
Sure.
we really need to change the constitution. Maybe it's high time we have a referendum about the constitution. Now we've got the GNU, all right? You've got people in government who are not legislating or not doing anything. So we as the people, we need to push and demand a referendum about the changing of our constitution. Our constitution is so open. It's so open to abuse. Look at our immigration laws. Look at our criminal justice system. Bail Conditions Act. All those things need to be overhauled. Because now you get criminals getting away with everything because they know they'll get bail. Then the court, the case will drag for 10 years. Look at Senzo Mewa case. Look at AKA. Those people, they were so blatant to shoot him in front of cameras. What are we doing as a nation? What is the members of the parliament doing about this? And we know they are useless. They can't even, make sense when you listen to them. You listen to these commissions, it's a waste of money. The only thing that you can change is the constitution to make sure that we fight crime. We make sure that we fight all these things that we are faced with. Because the people all over the world, even the international criminal cartels, they know in South Africa, you can get away with anything.
All right. Herman, thank you for your call in Winchester Hills.
Okay.
It's 12 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
9 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Morning, Clement, to your crew there, and morning to everyone else who's listening. Clement, a sad state of affairs. This matter of DJ Warras, it is a reflection of the kind of a country that we live in that is governed at the barrel of a gun. And I would like to send my message of condolences to every patriotic South African who valued the patriotism of this young man. Also, my issue is with these people who are in the positions of influence, who would rather intellectualize issues instead of taking them head on and straight up. The issue of illegal immigration is a thorny issue in this country. You look at, for example, the issue of the murder of AKA. The suspects have been nabbed because they could be traceable. But imagine if these guys who have assassinated DJ Warras are illegals, undocumented.
Morning, Clement Manford here. Somebody told me some time ago that South Africa is not a great country. And I was like, no, you're lying. Yeah. Now I see. South Africa is not at all a great country. Poorer countries are much better than South Africa. The killings, it doesn't happen to those poorer countries. This thing of killing people as if nothing, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's bad. Very. So I will accept that South Africa is not at all a great country. Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
May Warras soul rest in peace. But this is normal. The only difference is that he's a well-known high profile. It's a daily thing. You go to Hillbrow, you often see videos daily. They attack, they kill people. It's Johannesburg, it's Pretoria, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, KZN. Just the same. Nothing will happen to those guys. Where's Aka's case? Where's Senzo Mewa's case? And why should the police talk about? They're just supposed to keep quiet, not talk about videos and all that, because those people now have ran away. To just investigate it and say we investigate. Actually, they catch some of those. Bad South Africa. Cecilia.
Good morning, 702 and fellow listeners. I am so angry. I'm angry that an innocent guy who was hired to sort out issues in a hijacked building, overpopulation, sewer problems, illegal electrical connections, illegal water connections. The yellow duty. For doing the right thing, you just get shot like you are nothing. In a CBD, Mokalton Center. And guess what? Panyaze Lesufi, this happened under his watch. He did nothing. He doesn't care each and every day. And his family, Warren's family, must not allow any politician to come there. And no, he must not rest in peace. We are no longer rest in peace for people who are killed for doing the right thing. He must fetch all of them. Now he knows who killed him, so he must fetch all of them.
Yeah, so fetch them. Okay, I get your frustration. By the way, Miss Manyathela, where have you been? Guys, this woman was the first person ever to send a voice note on this show when I started doing it about 5 years ago. And being able started calling her Mrs. Manyathela because some listeners called her that. And I was talking with Abel the other day, a few months ago, and we were like, where is that woman? Because we really haven't heard her, Mrs. Manyathela, on the show in a while. So it's great to hear from you. Thank you for the voice note. I get the frustration. I just think, and you're right, this happens almost every single day. It does. This level of brazenness, the brazenness with which these crimes are executed, it happens every day. It's just that we have opportunities to reflect on this when it happens to people we know, people that are known, because it's in the news and then it becomes part of the public narrative. But this is what happens. There are people who get killed for doing what is right out there, and that has not been reported about. Oh, so much negativity. Let's go to Nati now, and Damasa, who's calling us from Johannesburg. Let's focus on something positive for a second as we wrap up the 702 open line. Nati, good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right. Talk to me about this Zenazi Circle of Hope Maternity Pack Initiative. What are you guys doing?
So the Zenazi Circle of Hope, can I give you a bit of background? I know you're going to be out of time soon because you need to go to the news. So the Zenazi Circle of Hope was really, it was an initiative that was created after I had my daughter Zenazi, of whom the organization is named after. I was very privileged, Clement, in that I was able to prepare for my child. I was able to, go to my prenatal checkups at the doctors. I was able to pack a bag of dignity for my child upon my child's arrival. So I had all my essentials, Clement. The baby grows, the booties, the socks, the hoodies, the toiletries, whether it was surgical spirits and Vaseline and all of those things, the essentials that you need to take care of your child in those initial hours and days of life. And then when I got to the hospital, Clement, to my surprise, I realized you get an extra bag at the hospital with the same supplies that you've packed in your bag, right? So I was like, okay, it's obviously a beautiful gesture from the hospital and nice to have, but it was not a necessity. I kept that bag, gave it to a lady. So I'm from the Eastern Cape, from a village named called Ngeleni. I gave it to a lady in Ngeleni in the Eastern Cape. I could not have been prepared for the response I received from that lady, Clement. She cried because for her, she had no means to prepare for her child. And I realized that the reality of some women in this country, Clement, is that a pregnancy and welcoming a child or thinking about welcoming your child is not a pleasant experience because some of them are unemployed. And upon telling your partner that you are pregnant, some of these partners disappear on them. So they've got no way of, putting together the bare essentials that they need for their baby. Then there's also the crisis of teenage pregnancies in this country where children are giving birth to children. And some of these pregnancies are a result of, rape. They're products, these children are products of rape and abuse. These children are left traumatized, scared, alone, Clement, coming from impoverished families who can barely provide for them, never mind a new life. Where are they to turn to, you know? So the Zenazi Circle of Hope was created because we wanted to create a comfort pack. The full name of the Zenazi Circle of Hope is Zenazi Uthixo Ukhona. Know that God is with you. So even in this desperate state that you find yourself in, scared, frustrated, know that God is there. Because you'll find that most times also, Clement, these women will leave home with only money for transportation to take them to the hospital, and that's public transportation. That's not a CI, a 16-seater. It's a van, and you're sitting at the back of a bakkie with five or eight other people, a goat in between, and vegetables. Do you get what I mean? With nothing else to offer your child except the warmth of your chest. You get to hospital, and when you're leaving, you wrap your baby around a hospital sheet because you don't have the dignity of a blanket. So we decided, let's do something, and that's what we're doing. We've got a maternity drive this tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow in the Eastern Cape at a hospital named Inklaza. It's St. Barnabas, but it's known as Inklaza in Ngeleni tomorrow.
Oh, so you're handing out what, over 100 bags or so to that specific hospital? What is, if people want to come in, Nati, and say this is a cause that speaks to my heart and I want to be able to also contribute, how do they get in touch?
Get in touch with me. I'm Nati at Zenazi, Zenani, Zenazi at Z-A. I can't even spell Zenazi, Zenazi, Nati at zenazi.org, Nati at zenazi.org. That's how you get a hold of me. And I'm calling out to private hospitals who can these bags over. Please give those those ladies an option to maybe donate those bags to a woman who is in need. The big companies who manufacture these products, Clement, the maternity pads, the maternity bras and underwear, the toiletries that these babies need. Please get in touch with us. Donate for a family that is in need, that has nothing.
Yeah, Nati Ndamaza, thank you so much for that. Zenazi Circle of Hope Maternity Pack Initiative. You can email at nati@zenazi.org.